climate change such a big deal? Especially in today's environment, and what have we done to Mother Earth? We all are experiencing aftermath of this climate change and global warming, right? So why is this report so critical, right? So why do we need to spend a little time understanding what are the findings from this report? And their findings is like the most advanced scientific basis that they have established. They have gone through, I think, more than 14,000 scientific studies. In fact, I think this decade is the warmest decade. It's not just that the climate change has occurred only on the land, but it has occurred in the ocean. It has occurred also in cryosphere along with biosphere. If we didn't have industrialization and the corresponding greenhouse gas emission, it would have been flat like that. Our objective, as I said, in the Paris Agreement was 1.5 degrees centigrade, but it doesn't look like we will be able to do if we continue to go in the direction. We have to become carbon neutral by 2050. This is what we had decided in 2015 Paris Agreement. So this is a very quick video that will show you how from 1850 the Mother Earth has changed. So this is what Earth looks like right now. Why is the global warming happening so fast? Its main contributor is actually fossil fuel consumption, as you rightly said. So aircrafts and diesel engines and industry, specifically industries like energy production, right? Electricity production, steel manufacturing, cement production. These are all very high energy intensive industries. This is what India looks like with different scenarios. As you can see, I don't think anybody will survive the 4 degree. Let us hope that we don't reach that scenario. You do see that comparatively, India is less red than, say, Northeast, Asia, right? And that's because we have cooler aerosols in the air. On the northern side, we are covered with Himalayas. Permafrost is thawing and glaciers are reducing. The snow capes are actually melting. And apparently the sea around Asia heating faster than global average. How can each of us help reduce this carbon footprint? Be mindful of the amount of energy you and your family consumes in everyday life. Air coolers and air conditioners also, that they put it in their window, and apparently they consume a lot more energy than, say, a split AC consumes. Our television sets also consume a lot of energy. We can actually do, I have this habit of switching off fans, switching off lights, switching off everything, right? I mean, wherever I see some red thing lighting, even my microwave switch when the microwave is not on, because it consumes some energy. So all these little things you do can actually save a lot of energy. Obviously, if you are planning to switch over to a new TV or a new washing machine, new refrigerator, always look for those green products. I suggest that don't take your car out every time you have to go out. Take a bicycle, buy little and buy local. Build a house that is well ventilated, does not require switching light on as soon as you wake up in the morning, and you don't need to switch on fans and things like that. How you can involve your community and create these business opportunities comes in. Involve children and youth. We are going to leave the earth for them so that they will still have the resources to continue to function and live a normal life. So business ideas now, agriculture and food processing is a great space for sustainability. With the help of CIIF, we've started teaching the farmers how to do, incorporate this waste from previous crop into the soil so that it becomes a nutrient for the next soil instead of burning it. Electric vehicles, people are talking about it. Unless you produce electricity using renewable energy, solar and wind power and so on, electric vehicles on their own is not going to reduce pollution. Since 1980s, the greenhouse gases have increased and the temperature has shot up, right? And you see that one of the reasons is actually this resource extraction. By 2020, it will reach 82 billion tons. But I can tell you the current numbers are this became 92 billion tons in 2017-18 itself. We can't continue to increase like this. We basically have to go back to recycling. So given all this, obviously we can't anymore depend on a linear economy. Linear economy is that take, make, and dispose. So what we need is a circular economy. So even though they are recyclable, it doesn't necessarily get recycled. So nearly 60% of the material that can be recycled actually ends up in landfills today because these reverse supply chains are not very well established. So you need to keep these things in mind when you are designing products, right? Also design products in such a way that they become easy to disassemble. Today, mobile phones do not get recycled, most of the content. Why? Because they are very difficult to disassemble. But if you can make them more easy to disassemble, then most of it gets recycled. So that's the basic idea of circular economy. So can you find products and ideas that can become part of this circular economy? The more you find, the less dependent you are going to be on natural resources and natural metals, which are anyway going to increase in price.